Hi, my name is Ken Wood. I'm the Director of Music Ministries here at Hope. It's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about our Central Campus Mixed Choir, the Voices of Hope. At the Central Campus, the Voices of Hope gives the most consistent opportunity for both men and women to sing throughout the 9 months of the liturgical season. Their job primarily is to facilitate worship for the 10 o'clock service on Sunday, and also for other special services on high holy days like Reformation and Easter. The group normally holds rehearsals in the small fellowship hall across from the main office desk at the Central Campus or in the sanctuary itself. Typically, the group rehearses for 90 minutes a week, and currently that would be on Thursday evenings from 6 to 7:30 p.m. In addition, at every service that they're called to present, we ask folks to arrive a half an hour early and meet in the small fellowship hall prior to service for a warm-up. So at a 10 o'clock service at the Central Campus, we'd ask everybody to show up in the fellowship hall robed with music and ready to go by 9:30. Email is the primary method of communication that we use to communicate with the entire department. We do that through constant contact, so as soon as you let us know of your interest in joining a group, we will add your email address and make sure that you start receiving all pertinent information. So it behooves you to have a working email address, know how to use it, and check it regularly. Here are some frequently asked questions about the group. Previous singing or musical experience, do you need it? Well, the short answer is no, but it always would help. We acknowledge that there are singers of all levels in this group, and thankfully the group is large enough that even the folks with the most rudimentary ability tend to feel comfortable singing in a section with other singers who might be of a higher caliber. The difficulty level in the Voices of Hope spans from intermediate to early advanced. For those of you that may not know what that means, we'll be singing pieces of music that might be as simple as something that a middle school choir would do, all the way to advanced as something that an early college choir might do. We try to bring a lot of variety into the material that we choose, both stylistically and difficulty-wise, so that we can meet the needs of as many people as possible and offer as great a variety as we can within our traditional services. With a mixed group as large as the Voices of Hope, we can afford to have not only 4 voice parts, but in some cases even split S1, S2, A1, A2, etc. For those of you that have no idea what that is, don't worry. When you come in, we'll talk to you about what your comfortability level is as far as your vocal range, and if necessary, even listen to you sing. That way we'll be able to tell where best to place you within the choir. If you're a woman with an extraordinarily low voice, don't worry, you can sing in the tenor section. If you're a man with an extraordinarily high voice, we'd love to have you in the alto section. But for the most part, our women, sopranos and altos, and our men, tenors and basses, all find a place to sing in the choir. For those that benefit from having something to listen to help them learn the music, aside from obviously having the music on the paper itself, we try to offer sound recordings as often as possible and make them available in the cloud. That link is made available to everybody in the group so that you can go on your own at home on your own device to listen to the piece of music that we're working on. Generally, pieces are rehearsed 4 to 6 weeks in advance of time of performance. Generally, material is scheduled so far in advance that you'll know in plenty of time what we're singing when. Those assignments will help you to know what to be working on for the near future and as well what's coming up later on. You'll also be assigned a robe, given a black folder for choir music, and then your music will come in 1 or more forms, either originals or potentially copies. All originals need to be returned in the same condition as they were given, and all copies need to be thrown away immediately. In addition to those assignments, I try as often as possible to keep the calendar updated so that you could see well in advance when we're singing, what we're singing, and when we'll have off, as opposed to have our usual weekly routine. So by now you may be thinking, what's the commitment level? Which is an extraordinarily good question, being that this is the Villages and these are the busiest people I've ever known in my entire life. However, we know that in your retirement, you may not even be a full-time Florida resident. We have folks that come and go seasonally, come and go periodically for vacations, and otherwise they just come and go. But that's all right, and we do our best to accommodate. So, it's ideal that you attend a rehearsal prior to the weekend that we'll be presenting that piece of music. However, there are exceptions made. That's also the reason why we try to rehearse things well in advance in case you're going to miss a rehearsal. Please don't hear that I'm telling you that you don't ever have to show up. However, I understand that schedules are what they are, and there are medical emergencies and otherwise that happen. So if you're unclear about whether or not you should sing based on your availability to attend a rehearsal, please know that you can always contact me at musicupdate@hopeforall.church. That said, if you're only going to be here once a month, it may not be practical for you to be a part of this ensemble. I'll leave that up to you, and certainly that can be a discussion we can have if we need to. For the most part, if we don't see people very frequently, we start to be concerned that you might be ill, and we may end up having to communicate with you to see how you're doing. Certainly, if you're looking for a commitment that either sings less frequently or that only rehearses seasonally for specific events, we have other ensembles that fit that need. However, the Voices of Hope is certainly the easiest ensemble to come and go from and to feel a part of, particularly if you're concerned about sticking out in the size of the ensemble. So consider that for those of you that are getting your feet wet again in singing or may not have sung for quite a long time. So we realize absences always happen, whether or not they're planned or unplanned. That's life. However, the planned ones, we always ask for you to give us advance notice if at all possible. First of all, it keeps us from being too concerned about extended periods of time when you might not be here. It's a lot better for us to know that you're on a cruise for a couple of weeks than to think that you might be in the hospital and no one has come to see you because we didn't realize it. We have different methods to keep track of when you expect to be away, but ultimately it's important that your section leader knows of your desire to be gone at one or more points in the season. You can let us know as soon as possible, as far into the future as you know, even to the point that when you leave for the summer to head back up north and make sure your house is still standing, that you can let us know when you expect to return the following season. So I mentioned section leaders to make sure that you realize that there's a person, ideally two people sharing the same position, in each of the voice parts, who are my representative to be sure that we keep an eye on you and see that you're okay and that you have no needs. They'll be the ones who can answer your most immediate questions, and they'll be the ones that you want to contact first if there are any issues. Make sure you introduce yourself to your section leader so that they can be sure that you're on their radar and they can get any contact information they may desire, particularly your email address. What to bring to rehearsals and services? Well, make sure you bring your music in your folder. Bring a pencil so you can mark music, but make sure you have your eraser so that you can remove all markings before returning your music. Please don't use highlighters that can't be erased. In addition, you can bring a water bottle, tissues, and whatever else you may need to get through. However, we do ask that you always police the area and clean up after yourself at the end of the event. What to wear? For rehearsals, normally you can wear whatever's Florida comfortable. Depending on the season, that changes a lot. At Sunday morning services and other events during the week, we'll normally wear the robe that you're assigned. You'll want to keep that clean by washing it once a year, and we'll give you instructions on how to do that safely. Periodically, the choir wears something other than their robe for a special event like Pentecost, when we wear all red, or tenebrae when we wear all black. The top color may change, but generally the bottom color will remain black at all times. Make sure that you have appropriate and comfortable footwear as well. So once again, let me thank you for your interest, and if you have any further questions for us, don't hesitate to email us at musicupdate@hopeforall.church. We hope to see you soon.